Hi guys, it's Maya. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I quit drinking coffee and caffeine in general and kind of my reasons why I wanted to do it and my process. So just a little backstory. I can remember my first cup of coffee, and it's funny because it just brings back, like, it's such a significant turning point to me because it was, maybe about 15 years ago, and we were traveling overseas, and I was young. I was like either barely in high school or just about to start high school. And I remember going to McDonald's with my family when we were in Europe, and I remember seeing a cappuccino, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's what adults drink. I want to be an adult. I need to drink a cappuccino to fulfill that need. And that kind of led me on my kind of coffee addiction. And I quit drinking coffee about 3 years ago, and it could be even a little longer than that. It could be 4 years by now. And I replaced coffee with black tea. And so I never really quit caffeine necessarily. I just quit coffee. And I definitely did notice a huge difference switching from black coffee or coffees in general to black tea, and black tea flavored with milks and sugars. Some of the downsides of black tea is that it stains your teeth faster than coffee does, and my teeth, even though I use whitening, toothpaste, Crest White strips, everything, there's just like something in the acidity of black tea that's so staining that if you want white teeth, it's just not worth it. Like, skip black coffees, do green tea or whatever, but black tea is like the devil when it comes to keeping your teeth white. So that was kind of my main reason from wanting to decrease black tea, but also I just found myself drinking black tea the same amount as I was drinking coffee. So back when I was drinking coffee, I would have 8 to 10 cups a day, which sounds kind of crazy, but when your body is so used to drinking coffee and you start drinking it through college and school to keep yourself awake, to do projects, and then when you're in the workforce, you kind of get used to drinking it. And then I was at a job where we had an espresso machine. I think it was called like a Lavazza, and it was nasty. I think about that espresso taste. It was so awful. I know it's like an Italian fancy whatever taste, but for whatever reason, it's so gross and bitter. Like, I would never drink that again in my entire life. And just the thought of, I would just sip that all day long, and I would pour either a little bit of milk or creamer into it, or just sip the espresso all day long, and I'd have 8 to 10 of those because that was what was available at that job. So when I quit coffee, I reached a point where I had extreme adrenal fatigue, and I would always wake up tired. I would always be tired throughout the day unless I would have my coffee. And I just had these bags under my eyes. And, part of it's genetics, but I also think that, after I quit coffee, the bags definitely improved. And then after drinking caffeine in general, the bags have even improved more so. So that kind of led me onto a journey of wanting to limit my tea intake. And when I was visiting my sister, who she's trying to get pregnant right now, she was saying, oh, when you're pregnant, you can only drink 250 milligrams of tea a day, or coffee, or any caffeine. I'm like, oh, really? That's awful. Like, I drink 1,000 a day? Like, how can I limit it? So I got to this point where I was like, let me just try this. Like, I wonder what the benefits are. I wonder what's going to happen if I'm gonna die without my beverage. And I honestly, it's been 4 months. This kind of started at the beginning of the year, and I honestly feel so much better when it comes to caffeine. And I will say, if I accidentally have caffeine in something like chocolate or, you know, a beverage that I thought didn't have caffeine, like a tea or something, but it has a little bit of caffeine, it will keep me up all night. So I'm very sensitive to caffeine right now. But these are the things that I think have improved from quitting caffeine. So I guess first of all, I'm at my limit of how much caffeine is in my body. So when we decide to start trying for kids, I'm already prepared for that. That's great. And then I have noticed my skin has improved. I sleep better. My digestion is normal. I don't rely on different drinks to get me going. And then, yeah, I just honestly recommend it. What I will say, there are some negative aspects of not having as much caffeine anymore. And one of those is that, my partner, my fiance, he still drinks coffee. And so whenever I go to Starbucks, it just feels like a waste of time and money to me whenever we go. And I'm like, okay, there's nothing for me to drink here. And I just don't want sugary beverages like a hot chocolate or apple cider. It's just a waste of time for me. So I don't really enjoy going to Starbucks anymore. And then I can't, I always thought, okay, if I quit coffee, if we go to Europe and we're at a cafe or whatever, what am I gonna drink? And I always thought, oh my God, I'm gonna crave a cappuccino again. But I just don't have that craving anymore. But I will say, there's definitely very limited options when you're going out for, a coffee or a tea with someone. So there's a social aspect of having coffee and tea. So I kind of am bored when it comes to that because there's not enough beverages on the market that don't have caffeine. And I also will say I'm not a big herbal tea person. It's hard for me to find an herbal tea that actually tastes good. There's some red ones that are decent, but I still like my herbal teas to be nutty and, not vegetative, if that makes sense. But yeah, so overall, I definitely have seen improvements. And there's one other thing I didn't even mention is that I would have my first cup of caffeine in the morning and I immediately would feel nauseous right after, that I needed to eat something, and something inside the caffeine or the beverage would trigger low blood sugar in me. So I'd have to eat something sweet right away to balance that. Now that I've quit caffeine, I don't have that anymore. And I've been to, I've gotten my yearly exams and blood work and everything like that, and everything has always come back normal. But that's just something that would always happen to me. Whenever I'd have my first cup of something in the day, I would just get so sick until I would eat something. So I don't have that. I could go, 3-4 hours without eating something in the morning. So it's kind of great. But yeah, overall, I definitely am happy I quit caffeine. I've noticed my skin improving, and I think it's just worth trying. So it's easy, it's free, it's something you can eliminate. It might even save you money. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. Just my little thoughts on this and my little experiment. But yeah, I hope everyone is having a great day, and comment down below if you've quit caffeine, if you can't even handle the thought of quitting caffeine. Let me know your thoughts. Have a good day.